in normal time. Liverpool 3-0. Corner taken quickly, Origi!
Hello and welcome to the Redscast podcast. Welcome back to the Redscast podcast, should I say. We're back. I'll get into the explaining. Joined by Ste, as always. We're back, Ste. It's been a while.
We are. It has, yeah. I've missed it. I've missed chatting absolute football.
We've got some explaining to do. So basically, December's been a bit of a mad month with mine and Steve's work. It's been crazy. It's been both our birthdays. It's just been crazy, hasn't it? Really, we haven't had a minute.
It's been a heavy one, hasn't it? Obviously, it wouldn't have been a good idea around either of our birthdays to come on because we wouldn't have made any sense.
Yeah, and then obviously we just had a bit of a mad few weeks in work, so it's all sorted, all back to normal. We're going to touch on a few of the games that we have missed and then focus mainly on the 7-0 thrashing of Palace and then building up to our game against West Brom on the 27th. So the last one we'd done, Steve, was the Ajax game. So touching quickly on the Wolves game, 4-0 was a solid performance, wasn't it, from the Reds against a side where you'd probably say, we both said that they were the ones probably to watch this season. They've got a good team. Obviously, we was unfortunately lucky with that he didn't have Raul Jimenez. Unfortunate in the sense of what's happened to him. It was a good game, wasn't it? It was a good game to see Liverpool thrash someone, really. Been a while.
Yeah, and I think it must be the first time on the history of this podcast where I predicted the score right.
Yeah. Didn't you have a bet on that one? Is that the one you won?
No, the money I won was what game was it where Salah scored first? We won 2-1.
Tottenham, yeah.
What if you won that one?
I know. And then in between that Tottenham game was two. I'd say it's all right. It's good in hindsight now, but I'd say at the time it was two worrying draws. We'll start with Midtjylland in a sense of it was a bit weird to see us go quite strong in a game that we didn't really need to get anything out of, did we?
Yeah, it was a strange one for me, that. Obviously, we all expected, 11 changes.
Yeah.
Throw the kids in, and he didn't. I don't know what he was playing at, but look, we won the group. So, whatever, innit?
Yeah, and it was always good to see Curtis Jones on the score sheet.
Yeah.
That made me dead happy. Goal for him. And then, obviously, the Fulham game. What was that all about?
I don't know. That was... No, I've got no words for the Fulham game, to be honest with you. It was just that...
To be fair to Fulham, they're looking a lot better than they did at the start of the season, aren't they? They seem to have... Fulham, every time they come up, make wholesale changes. But they are looking a little bit stronger, a little bit more consistent. And to be honest, they're looking like they probably could stay up.
They started the season and they lose the first 3 or 4 games or something, and they lost, comfortably. It was a comfortable win for the opposition on every single game they played, and they looked like they were in real trouble. Now they look like they've turned it around a bit. Whether they'll survive, don't know. But they've given themselves a better chance with the last few weeks.
Do you know what? I said Burnley, didn't I, at the start of the season, will go down. I mean, they're only 3 points above the drop. I want to get your thoughts on, is Arsenal too big of a team to be relegated?
No. No one is.
It's quite worrying when you look at the Arsenal team on paper, the fact that they are 4 points above the relegation zone. And I've seen today on Twitter, apparently they've inserted relegation clauses into some of the big players' contracts, which is mad.
I mean, it's mental for a club of that size. Do I think they'll go down? Probably not. But no team's too big. Look, like you've seen teams in the past, teams like Sheffield Wednesday, Leeds, who've all been like doing quite well. Aston Villa went down, Man City went down, before the takeover. And that no team's too big, but I don't think they'll go down this year. It'll be a massive shock if they do. I think long before that becomes an issue, Arteta will probably go.
It's mad though, really, isn't it? Because when you think back to the start of the season, at the end of last season, they won the FA Cup and then they beat us in the Community Shield, and they were all the Arsenal fans thought he was unbelievable. And I think it's disciplinary in a sense of, my brother said to me that the perfect team manager for Arsenal would be Benitez, because they're lacking so much discipline, aren't they? Like, I think they've had something stupid like 10 or 11 red cards now. It's just a team, and you can just see like the team don't even want to be there. And what's interesting, what I think, is West Brom. I was set on them going down this year. The appointment of Big Sam, they're not going down.
No, he's a specialist, isn't he? And
he's got the January transfer window to go and buy loads of Grox as well. Hasn't he, to just sit behind the ball?
It wouldn't have surprised me if Arsenal would have brought him in for a few months like Everton did.
Well, apparently they're getting Wenger back, aren't they, till the end of the season? I've seen that. Or Benitez, that's who they've been linked with. And I just think it'd be so Arsenal to get Arsene Wenger back. So it'd be such a thing to do.
Benitez is a shout, to be fair, for them. He's got what they're lacking is a lot of tactical nous. And they're lacking discipline. They're not lacking quality. You can't say they're lacking quality because they've got some really, really good players there, but I don't know. Maybe they're not. There's something's missing, and whether it's Arteta doesn't know what he's doing, whether the players just don't like him, it's not working. But it makes for fantastic Arsenal TV viewing, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, been loving it, me. Absolutely. I think it'd be a good point if I can find a little book to review. We'll do. I can't even see where it is. The predictions we had. I don't think any of us predicted Sheffield United to be in the position they're in, but I'm going to go bold and say they need to sack Chris Wilder if they want to stay up now. He spent £25 million on Rhian Brewster. Now, I'm not saying Rhian Brewster's the answer to the problems, but to spend that much money on a player and then bench him and bring him on for 20 minutes, he's not going to change a game in 20 minutes. He's got to develop.
That screams of a director of football signing Rhian Brewster and not Chris Wilder. I remember Benitez done the same thing with Robbie Keane. The club spent 20 odd million bringing Robbie Keane in. Played him on the wing, played him here little bits and bobs, but never got a chance. And that was absolutely to prove a point. Maybe Wilder's doing the same. Who knows?
It's a shame though, really, because Rhian has got talent, and I'd hate, obviously, if they go down, he's probably going to get sold. So it'll completely annihilate our clause with him. In terms of buying him back, obviously we're not going to buy him back at the end of this season. Of course, we're not. But if he goes down, he's good enough for the Prem, which is crazy, because it's sad because I would have liked to have seen him develop into something world class and then us get him back. Because I always like to see products of the academy do well in the team, especially recently, given how much of our academy has thrived in recent weeks, months. And it'll be sad to see him. If he goes down, maybe he would stay with them and do a season, but I just feel like it was just the worst team for him to choose, really. Like, when you look at him at Swansea, he was working under Steve Cooper, he worked him at England under 21s, he knew his game, he knew Rhian's strengths, where it just feels like if it's not working for Sheffield United, who they're playing at the minute. And I was looking at some of the teams, and they haven't been playing like Lundstrom as much this year, and it just feels as though he's just changed too much. Because surely Dean Henderson isn't the reason they done so well last year.
He was a big part. He was probably their outstanding player last season. But you can't base a whole season on one player. You touched on Lundstrom. I think he played the weekend, got sent off, didn't he? Brewster, getting back to Brewster, he was smashing it at Swansea. He's not getting a look in at Sheffield United. Are we Are we now saying that was his level? Or
It's a hard one, really, isn't it? Because even when you look like Dominic Solanke, he's absolutely killing it this year for Bournemouth. He's smashing them in, and maybe the Championship is his level. But then there was such high hopes for them because they think they both won, or was it just Solanke who won that award that only like Pele
England under 20s.
golden.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like if you put Brewster in a team with say if you put him in the Palace team, I think he'd thrive more.
Yeah, probably they play more to his style. I don't think he'd start for Palace. That's where I'm getting at. Is if he wants to play week in, week out and be a star, he will probably have to drop to the Championship the same way Solanke has, the same way. Look, Harvey Elliott, he's absolutely killing it.
Well, people are now saying now. I mean, we knew we haven't seen it for Liverpool because obviously he hasn't really had a look in, but we've heard big things about him saying he is world class. He's going to be unbelievable, and then you watch him in the Championship, Steve. He's levels above the opposition when he's playing against them. Like you can see that he is far too good for the Championship, and he's 17.
Yeah.
Some of his goals, some of his assists, the way he plays there, it's just. I've actually been watching Blackburn to watch him, and he's just a joy to watch, and it makes me excited. And I'm sat here thinking, like, do we really need to bring someone in like Jadon Sancho in the summer when you've got someone like Harvey Elliott with that much potential? Because I know Sancho's world class, but he's only become world class through regular games. That's what Elliott needs as well.
Yeah, I'd be reluctant to go that far just because of Brewster. We were saying the same thing last year about Brewster. He was absolutely killing it for Swansea. And we were going, oh, do we need this striker? Do we need this? And then he comes back and he doesn't get a look in because that bridge between the Championship and the Premier League, although it's one division,
Yeah,
the step is massive.
It's huge. You can see it just purely through like the likes of Dominic Solanke and Brewster. Like how I remember I put Sky Sports on the other day and it Bournemouth for like 15 minutes into a game and Solanke had scored 2 and I had to double check it. I was like, oh, Solanke scored and he scored 2. It was just
like I can see Divock. I know there was talk of him going to Wolves. They'd be absolutely mental to take him. But I can see the Championship being Divock's level, possibly.
Yeah, so before we move on to the Tottenham game and the Palace game, I want to touch on Divock. He took every ounce of Liverpool off his Twitter. Still on his Insta, but he's removed anything. He just says professional footballer on his Twitter. There's now rumours that we've offered Schalke a swap deal for that Kabak. The centre half, the Turkish.
Oh yeah.
Spoke to me sources in Turkey. He's meant to be a really, really good centre half. It's hard to judge him given how bad Schalke have been in recent seasons, but apparently he is a real talent.
He was the one we were linked with in the summer, wasn't he?
Yeah, Ozan Kabak. But I'm just going to ask you a question in the sense of, do we really need a centre half?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to put this to you. Van Dijk's looking like he's an inhuman. He's playing like I know it's only light ball work. The fact he's got ball work this quick after tearing his ACL is the man's an animal. Reason ain't me dog after him. Fabinho, Van Dijk, and Thiago just in front of them. Do we really need a centre back?
Yeah. I still think
it's a massive as cover because I feel like at this moment in time, Thiago's going to come into the team as a holding, isn't he? Because Fabinho is playing centre half.
Yeah.
Thiago is going to show everyone he is one of the best in the world at what he does. Like Fabinho is the best. Thiago offers more going forward, but as a holding midfielder, he's world class as well. Now,
how mad is it, right? How excited us as a group of supporters, how excited we are about a player that we've seen play for like an hour in a red shirt.
Because he's I feel like it's because it's the first time Liverpool really went and signed someone who is proven world class. You think back to like Torres, no one really knew of him. He was good for Atletico, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't like a world class name when we signed him. Suarez wasn't a world class name when he signed him. You think of them players who have been world class for Liverpool. We didn't sign them as world class players. Thiago is different. He is world class. So if you put him in as a holding midfielder and he is unbelievable now for the rest of the season, and because obviously Fabinho is going to be a centre, Joe Gomez is out for the season. So when Van Dijk comes back towards the business end of the season and he's playing next to Fabinho with Thiago in front of them, players aren't going to get past it. If they get past Thiago, they're faced with Van Dijk and Fabinho, and if they get past that, they're faced by Alisson. If that works so well, Gomez will struggle to get back in the team because Fabinho might struggle to get into his holding because when where'd you put Thiago?
Yeah. My concern is that they don't come back as the same player. They've just got two crazy injuries. Like, you can't guarantee players going to come back anywhere near the same player. Van Dijk's different gravy, so he's going to come back stronger, no doubt, but you never know. And Joe Gomez
has mentally got it in him as well, hasn't it? Because he's already been through a few big injuries in his career.
He's had 2 broken legs, hasn't he, or something? I think this is his third, major injury. Who knows what he's come... I've got a beer in my hand, by the way, so I'm just going to raise this to Gerard Houllier because we haven't touched on that. We haven't done anything since, so Gerard, cheers.
Yeah, we'll touch on him in a sec. But back to Origi. It's a hard one. We're gonna need a new intro for a start. But I couldn't badmouth him because he's a cult hero for them goals against Barcelona and Tottenham and the
Everton, Newcastle. There's been a few. Yeah.
Everton. Like, I'll always love him, and he'll always be a Liverpool legend. And legends are a term branded thrown about quite a lot these days, but Divock is a Liverpool legend for what he's done, without doubt.
Yeah.
But it says something when I've seen something on Liverpool socials. Bobby and Ali were doing like a quiz or team.
Oh yeah.
And Bobby's hint to Ali about the player was he's lazy, and Alisson straight away goes to give. So it's not just us seeing how lazy he is on the pitch. You know, he must be lazy in training. There's been times he's been completely left off the bench. I don't think we'll see that again with there being 9 bench players now. But I feel like he is pretty much gone in January. And the fact he's removed Liverpool off his Twitter and that, maybe the deal's already done and it's just not been announced yet.
Yeah, I think that the worrying thing for me is the longer he stays, the more diluted his sort of legacy becomes, because the longer he stays, the less we see of him, and the few little clips that we see of him, he just half-asses it round the centre circle, doesn't do much. So just like, I mean, the time to go was in the summer for me, because he's annoyed. I think he's annoyed a few fans with his half-assed performances this season. So yeah.
But it makes me feel like we're bringing a striker in January, because if we let Divock go, knowing that Jota's out till March as well, we are solely relying on Bobby not getting injured. Now Bobby doesn't get injured, touch wood, but he never gets injured, Bobby. But then you're relying on that front three consistently till March because there's no rotation.
I mean you've got little Tacky there as well, who
that was interesting.
Took his goal very well.
Yeah, well, Klopp actually, I'm going to read it. He said something in his programme notes about Tacky, and for the game just before the Palace game, he said in his programme notes, he said, I'm not usually a fan of singling people out, but I think Tacky is someone I want to highlight. Tacky's been sensational for us since he came in. His attitude is of the highest level always. Commitment to improving is total. He has to be patient, and at times I can imagine it's quite difficult. His lack of starting opportunities until now is not because of anything he is not doing well. It's because the players in his position have been so consistent. Tacky, it just feels like now he was similar to Robbo. He's just been gelling into the team. And if we do get the Tacky that we see come to Anfield for Salzburg, we have got a player on our hands. But I just don't want us to sit and keep saying he might be good. He might be good. He was good against Palace, and I hope he does build on it. I hope the goal gives him the world of good because you can see he has got the potential there. But I just still feel like if you're selling Divock, given the amount of fixtures, because this season's a shorter season, isn't it? It'd just be crazy to not have an alternative, especially with Jota being injured.
Have you seen any rumours of any involved players that we're bringing in now?
No, absolutely nothing. The only rumour I've seen is Renato Sanchez, which is the genie.
Oh, we touched on this before, didn't we?
Yeah, it's a bit of a mad one with Renato Sanchez because as a kid, he had such high expectation at Bayern Munich. He comes to Swansea on loan in the Prem, was shocking. But apparently, I don't know if you know about what's going on in France. They've lost a TV deal, so all the clubs are skint.
Okay.
But one striker I'd like to see us bring in, apparently he's up for sale for 5 million, Memphis Depay. I know he used to play for Manchester United, but I do like him.
I heard rumours at the time that he was at Man United, that he is not a good influence on the dressing room. Decent player, don't get me wrong, he's a decent player and he's doing well for, is it Lyon he's playing for?
Yeah.
He's getting good numbers down there, but if the rumours are true, coming out to United, I can't imagine Klopp touching him with a barge pole if he's got that reputation about him.
Then Genie,
unless that's changed, I don't know. So
they'd be obviously giving him a glowing. But then Genie, I've seen Genie, it come out yesterday, I think, links to Inter Milan, and I never ever seen that coming. But it makes sense because Koeman, if he has a bad first leg in the last 16 in the Champions League, he's gone. I feel like he's only kept his job because he's done well in the Champions League, because Barcelona have been a shambles in the Liga this year. They're financially struggling. They need to sell Coutinho in January because if he plays 10 more times, they owe us 20 mil. So apparently they're like trying to sell him to recoup money back and stuff. There's rumours they can't even afford to pay Messi anymore. And it's just football in general at the minute, it's a bit mad, like in terms of transfers. But with Renato Sanchez, I've seen rumours that apparently it's done. I feel like with Klopp, Liverpool buy players based on pressing ability. So when we bought Jota, it raised a few eyebrows. Everyone was a bit like, a bit much that for him, isn't it? And he hadn't like set the Premier light at Wolves, and he's come in and he's a pressing monster, as Pep Linders describes him, and he's been phenomenal. So I remember when we signed Salah, I was saying, why have we bought a flop? Because he can't do it in the Prem. And I've had my words ever since. He's the best African player to ever play in the Premier League, and that's statistically now. So I do trust Klopp in terms of getting Sanchez. If he lives up to the potential that people give him, he's going to be a sign and a half for 15 million. But then you could also get him being like what he was at Swansea, where it's just... For 15, it's probably worth the punt, isn't it?
Probably. Like when I first heard that name getting thrown about, I was like, you'd always remember how bad they were. Because he'd come with a big reputation at the time and he was awful. That's what you remember. And I've not followed his career since. I just remember how
really, really well in France, but then I could probably do well in France.
Me and you could play for FC Farmers or whatever over there. Like,
it's a shocking league, proper shocking. But it's interesting. I mean, PSG will probably be fine. I'm standing by the fact Messi's going to go to PSG and Pep's going to go there as well because he's going to get sacked soon, I think. But that's the only transfer I've seen. I mean, I've seen a few people moaning about getting Sanchez and the fact that they're like, well, we don't really need anyone because we've got Jones coming through. And I thought that myself, but then my brother laid it out for me in a sense of Milner's pretty much done. He's probably going to end up in a coaching role in the next year or so. Hendo's 33, 34 maybe next year.
Only just 30, isn't he?
No, Hendo's 32 now, so he's 33 next year. I'm 99% sure.
Double check that. I'm sure he had his 30th birthday a couple of months ago.
I think that was after we won the Champions League. I'm 99% sure of it.
Go. Check that.
So he is 30. What's my brother about then? So
what are you talking about? I know everything. Come on.
So Hendo's 30, but I mean, he's coming to the end of his career. Hendo.
A couple of years left.
Yeah, Milner's fizzling out.
He's
Thiago, yeah, Gini's going. Thiago's 29, so you're only going to get 3-4 years out of him. So I can understand bringing in someone like Renato Sanchez, who's 23, and maybe
is he a step up from Chamberlain?
It's hard to call because we
actually made the biscuits.
Yeah, but he's come back from another tough injury. I mean, when he come on against Palace, he looked sharp, but I don't think it'd be hard to look sharp in that game. Anytime the shot scored, but
that game would have been perfect for Thiago to step into. Same way the Chelsea game was when he come on for that second half. Yeah, and it was just he would have just come on and he'd just swashed it about and just look gorgeous, wouldn't he, in that game?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I don't know. It's a step up from Thiago. I like Ox. I really like Ox. Mm-hmm. If he stays fit, but I just don't see Ox I can't see Ox getting into the central midfield, and I can't see he left Arsenal because he wanted to play centrally, and I just can't see him getting into the central midfield. Because again, Kaiser's shown what he's capable of on the weekend. I don't know.
And by the way, I did call last time we were on. I did say Kaiser will be back for a game, then he'll get injured. And he came back for a game, and then he got injured, and now he's back again.
I want him to be fit for that Leipzig game. Definitely.
Yeah.
He'll be good in the game.
That February, is it, or January?
I think it's like the end of January, usually the last 16. I've lost the rhythm of knowing when fixtures are without going to the match, because it's just like, because you watch, I don't know, it's just different in it. Because when you go and you're like, yeah, I've got that game next, so you just know. Like
now it's just like TV in it, and you're like, oh, there's a game on tonight, whatever. You don't really follow it as closely, do you?
Crap. But before we go on to the games, we like the Tottenham game then. Gerard Houllier. What a man.
That was a shock. Like, I was gutted.
It took me back a bit, to be honest.
I mean, I knew he'd had his health problems in the past, but it come out of nowhere, this one, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, for like a fan like yourself who has seen Liverpool have glory days and then fade out for a few years, you've seen the full effect of Gerard Houllier in a sense of he dragged Liverpool into the 21st century. Yeah. For me, Gerard Houllier was the manager when I first started to probably understand football. Like, I think back to like when we won the treble. Well, we won 5 cups technically in 12 months, but we won the actual treble within one season. Mm-hmm. Like the finals, like Owen and Fowler, and that was like my first memories of football. So when I found out he had died, I was actually gutted, even though I don't know the fella. I was gutted because it was just like that was the first time. Gerard Houllier ultimately is the manager that made me fall in love with football.
He's responsible for arguably one of the greatest seasons in recent history for Liverpool Football Club. Yeah. That season, I mean, obviously we've had last year, the last couple of years, we've won big trophies and that, but that season, we come off the back of winning bugger all for years. To that, I mean, and that had more of a...
You can go as far as saying Houllier was responsible for the Champions League final. I know Rafa was the manager, but it was Houlier's team.
Yeah.
I mean, Rafa brought like Alonso and that in, but it pretty much was Houlier's team. And there's an interview of him where he says he goes into the dressing room to congratulate them all after Istanbul, and players are coming up to him saying, "Boss, it's your team, we've done it," and stuff. And Houlier's responsible for giving Stevie G his debut and believing in Stevie G. Gerard dedicated a lot of his career to him, and it was nice to see how much he was loved in the world of football, and
by everyone.
And to me, I know we've spoke a lot about statues lately, but I feel like the man does deserve one, or he deserves something in Anfield. He deserves something in that forecourt of that stadium, or inside the stadium, or I'm not going to go as far as saying like, we should name a stand after him or anything like that.
There needs to be some sort of memorial or some sort of anything. Look, there's plenty of space there now on that new concourse by the main stand, and once they do the Annie Road up, there's going to be more room around that. There's going to be plenty of space to do something for him.
Yeah,
and it's fully there.
The Shankly Gates and the Paisley Gates. Maybe the steps to the main stand, like the Houllier steps. Or something.
Yeah.
I feel like it just needs something, because he he revolutionised Liverpool. Like he's responsible for making Melwood what it was. I know we're not there anymore, but he's made Liverpool a modern day success. I feel like if you didn't bring Houllier in, because we was in the boot room era, prior to that,
I was going to touch on that actually.
I feel like if we bring him in, we wouldn't be where we are now.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, it was a little controversial. He come in with Roy Evans. I don't know whether you remember that. They were joint. And that was the sort of end of the boot room era. Roy Evans was the last of the old guard from the boot room.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of the old school fans were a little bit dubious about Houllier, but come the end of his reign, they weren't. And that game where we had the minutes of applause and people were singing his name, that the fans were in the stage singing his name, I choked. I filled up like.
Yeah, it's just a shame that the first game back after hearing the news, it wasn't a full stadium to do something. Maybe have a big mosaic in the Kop, and I think that will happen when we're at full capacity, whenever that may be, because Boris has lost the plot again. But yeah. He made so many people my age fall in love with football, and he probably made the older fans like yourself and that maybe fall back in love with football.
Yeah. It got us really excited again after a really poor period of being a Liverpool fan, and he was the catalyst for it all.
Definitely. It's just I just can't. I feel like it's obviously going to happen in your lifetime. Like we're going to see the likes of like Rafa and stuff pass away and that, and it's just obviously the first time it's happened in a long time that someone massively associated with Liverpool has passed away, and it was bad. It was mad, and hearing people like Steve, saying like I'm struggling to deal with it, and that, like it was just like, it was horrible.
Yeah, he's worked with so many top players. He was he director of football at the French youth team or something? So he's dealt with all the players at that. Thierry Henry, Robert Perez, all that generation who were world beaters. I think he dealt with a lot of them at youth level.
Yeah.
He's worked with so many top players, and they've all got good things to say about him.
One of my favourite things about Houllier is he is like an adopted scout. So he was a PE teacher in Allsop.
Yeah.
And then he come back and managed us. Like he stood with the fans when he was just a PE teacher, and he just loves the city. And every time you hear interviews with him, he's so passionate about Liverpool. And I feel like I'm more made up he had success at Liverpool because someone like that deserves it, and someone who's passionate about the club deserves it. Like look at Klopp, and Rafa, he loved the club. Rafa's never moved out of Liverpool. He still lives, well, Caldy, it's
classy Liverpool.
Yeah, but, it's just like it's just mad. Like I honestly couldn't believe it, and may he rest in peace, and he'll forever be a Liverpool icon, legend, and founding father of recent success. You could say, because without Melwood, we wouldn't be up in recent times, which is sad. But yeah, onto the Tottenham game. Best team lost, didn't they, Ste?
Honest to God, what an absolutely deluded. Is this going on radio?
What day are we on today? Tuesday? No.
What a deluded tit that man is, because if they look right, I've got a mate who's a Spurs fan, Graham. I don't know whether he still listens to this. He did say he was still listening to this. And I was speaking to him throughout the match, bit of banter here and there, and at the end I was like, well, we got what we deserved in the end. And his response was, "You think?" And I was like, "You don't." He's like, "We should have won." He was saying, "Spurs, we should have won that." I said, "No. I said, "You could have won it because you had a couple of chances, but you shouldn't have won it." There's a massive difference, like.
Yeah, I had a lot of respect for Spurs fans. I've openly said on the podcast multiple times because of the experience that we had in Madrid, and they were so sound. But like you said, some of them genuinely thought they should have won, and I can understand in some aspects why they think they should have won. But the chance when you.
I think they're missing the difference between should have and could have. They could have, for sure, but should not have by any stretch.
I don't rate Harry Kane and I know people do, but he proved to me in that game why I don't rate him, because a player of his ability should have finished the chances that he had against us. I don't rate him. I might get some stick for it. I've one of my mates always says he's world class, and I say he's not. He is. Needs to go and play.
We don't watch enough of him. What I will say is I've seen Bobby Firmino miss them chances.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe it looks as though Mourinho's trying to move Kane into a more of a Bobby Firmino position. He's had a lot more assists this season, and they are going with like Son and that on the wings. So they are trying to play similar to Liverpool, which is, it's mad to see a Mourinho team do that. But that game, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't the stats stupid? Like, didn't we have like
78? I'm sure it was 78% possession or something like.
We had 75% possession. They had 25. Yeah. We had 17 shots. They had 8. We had 11 on target. They had 2.
I don't know what world Mourinho's living in, saying the best team lost. Like,
they had 4 big chances and missed 3 of them. So, but you could even go down to passes. 813 passes we had to their 254. 718 of our passes were accurate. 156 were theirs. Like, just all the stats throughout, we absolutely dominated them. And I know Jose Mourinho does not like Liverpool in the slightest. He hates us. But to sit and say the best team lost is just... I felt like I was just thinking, have we watched the same game here? Like, because I sat watching the game thinking, because after the disappointment against Fulham, I went into the game thinking Tottenham were going to turn us over, because I've said all season they're our biggest threat this season. They've been so consistent. I think Klopp described them as a results machine.
Yeah.
And then we just, like Liverpool, as always, when we're the underdogs, would you say?
I wouldn't say underdogs, but I'd say under question.
Yeah. We just turned up and we battered them. And I was sat there watching it thinking, this is a complete performance, this. And then Mourinho gets on the mic and says, you're the best team lost. And you're like, what are you on about, mate? Watch the same game, surely, because even Klopp looked confused when he went up. You could see on the reaction when he goes up to him, and Klopp's looking at him and saying, are you mad? You're a world-class... He is a world-class manager. Anyone who can win a Champions League with a Portuguese team is a world-class manager. He is.
Yeah.
And it's just Mourinho's lost the plot. I think he's and then he lost since then, haven't he? They haven't won since we beat them, have we?
Not followed their results, to be honest.
Yeah, they got beat by Leicester 2-0.
That's right, yeah, I did see that, sorry.
So they went from first to fourth quicker than COVID did.
Fifth now, aren't they?
Yeah, 5th out of top 4. Leicester are 2nd and United are 3rd. United have got a game in hand. United can go 2 points behind us if they win their game in hand, which is mad considering everyone wanted all out a few weeks ago.
It just shows what's going on in the league. The league's just mad this year, isn't it?
United are a good side. They are a good side. I'm not going to, as much as I hate them, I wish to get relegated. Can't stand the fans. They're a good side. I can't sit and say they're not.
Would you argue with a better manager they'd be challenging us closer?
No. While Paul Pogba's in that team, I know when he plays, the thing is, Paul Pogba is world class. He's world class, and I can never say he's not. From what you know, what he can do. When you see him in the France team, he is like when he won the World Cup. He was dominant in that World Cup. At Juventus, he was dominant, and I just don't know why he can't do it at United. Maybe it's attitude or whatever, but
for me, that attitude brings him out of that world-class bracket. Quality footballer, yeah, but the attitude and the inconsistency just drops him out of that world-class bracket for me.
One player who is world-class in that United team is Bruno Fernandes, and still to this day, I'm absolutely devastated we didn't get him. And it looks increasingly likely that because Real Madrid and Barca are skint, he won't have his dream of following Ronaldo's career path, and he might stay there. I just hope he snapped his legs, to be honest, because he's made a difference. He has made his difference. He's made a massive difference to United, and I don't know if you watched the United Leeds game. I watched it. I watched it because obviously our family are Leeds fans coming up to Christmas. You know, it's going to be topic of conversation. I wanted to have a bit of knowledge on them, and I wanted to watch more of the Calvin Phillips because I can't get enough of him. I would love Liverpool to sign him. I don't know if you've seen much of it. He is world class, and I just think him under Klopp, unbelievable. But that United game, Leeds can't defend, but United battered them.
Yeah, he did. Straight from minute one. Like, I'd put the game on, and I don't know, I'd gone out to put the kettle on or gone for a piss or whatever. I'd come back and it was 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0. But it was just, I don't know, you know, because I feel like United are trying this formula with Ole like they did with Fergie, because Fergie wasn't successful with them for the first few years. And Ole made a comment about when Bilic got sacked, which, by the way, I don't get it. I don't know what more West Brom wants. They just drew with City.
After the draw with City, yeah.
At the Etihad. But I feel like the decision was probably already made. But they gave him, what, £20 million budget? They had like 8 players on loan last year, and they expect them to come up to the Prem, lose them 8 players, spend 20 million, stay up. Crazy. But Ollie said, like, managers don't get enough time, and clubs need to sometimes just ride it out with the manager, because once they start getting their philosophy and that in, it works. And you can say that with Liverpool. Like, we lost 3 finals back to back, 4 finals with Klopp. We stuck with him, and it's paid off. Because you could argue that people could have said to sack him when he lost back to back finals, and people were saying he's a bottler and stuff. So it is maybe, I don't know. I don't know, because Ollie's the other experiences he's had Cardiff, and I don't think he got enough time there to judge him as a manager. I wouldn't say he's a poor manager, because you can see, he is a decent manager in some aspects. He's pulled off big results when you think like the PSGs and stuff in the Champions League, but they're just not consistent. And I feel like maybe with United, I feel like they probably would challenge more if they had a manager who, because I can imagine in the dressing room they just laugh at Ole.
Although they did have Mourinho, and you could argue Mourinho's he's won a lot. You could put him in that top bracket of managers in world football. Although he's a bit of a divvy, like, but
he won very big with United though and got them finishing second.
That's what I mean. So I don't know. Give Ole time. If you're a United fan, I always want to see managers given time, because they've got to have a project. They can't just come into a sinking ship and expect miracles. Like,
yeah, I think that they could challenge us this year.
Yeah, you said they've got a game in hand on us. If they win that, they're 2 points behind. So that's close enough for a challenge for me. Like, I just
think the league will be done by the end of January.
No.
Liverpool 6 points clear already. Stay on. Liverpool have never in the last 3 seasons been beaten in December, ever. Won every game in December. When Liverpool play consistently, we're ruthless. I just feel like this season, I feel like we're top by 5 points now because Leicester won. We're top by 5 points, and arguably our best players out injured.
Yeah, we're
playing with kids. We're top with by 5 points, and we've got kids playing.
It's 5 points. I know we're top, and it's an absolute miracle that we're anywhere near the top. Considering the injuries, we're 4 points clear. We are of Leicester.
I don't worry about Leicester at all. Brendan Rodgers hasn't got the bottle. He's shown it time and time again, even with Leicester last season after Christmas, showing it with us. I don't think he's got the bottle to challenge us. But I feel like City are completely out. Well, 8 points clear of City now, 9 points clear of City, something stupid like that.
City are down in 8th on 23 points. Yeah, they're 8 points behind us, but they've got a game in hand.
That if they win at 5, so I feel like
not a million miles away, but
wasn't last Christmas though? Wasn't we 5 points clear of City?
Last Christmas, it feels like last Christmas we were about 12 points clear of everyone.
No, I think it was only 5 points clear of City or 6 points, because I remember saying to myself, like, it's only 2 games when everyone was saying it's done. But I honestly, genuinely think Liverpool won the league again this year.
Don't get me wrong. I hope you're right, and I'm behind you every step of the way. But I think it's too early to tell.
I mean, I was happy to see Chelsea flop against Ste.
You know what? Like, you're making out like I'm a Chelsea fan. I was made up that they flopped. I hope they lose. I hope they lose every single game. But
The team of Werner has been a flop. Could you argue that?
yeah. What are they? 14 games in? You would expect better of them. Is it too early to tell for sure? Yeah, I think so. But up
Chelsea
to now, he's not been
patient though. They are not patient. Whatever they do to strikers, they ruin Torres. They've ruined Werner.
Nah, Torres. We sent Torres up broken. Don't worry about that. Yeah, no, they've had a few. But they had that Pato. They had
Shevchenko.
Shevchenko didn't set the world off. They've had plenty.
The only one I can think of for Chelsea who has been dominant up front is Drogba in recent years. But every other striker who's went there doesn't seem to deliver like they can. Like you look at Werner, and you could argue, he was playing for Leipzig. He was a big fish in a small pond. Leipzig are top of the Bundesliga without him. So I think Parsons wishes he would have just waited for Liverpool to like maybe waited on a season. I feel like I
don't feel like we've missed out anything there.
No, and it's good to see that, and it shows that Klopp knows best. Because all of us were calling like Klopp. We weren't calling Klopp for all sorts. We were fuming that we didn't get him. Me included. I think 95% of our fan base would be a fair estimate to go with, was fuming that he didn't come. And now you look at him, you think I'd rather have Jota.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I want to touch on something as well. I think we talked about the on via text through the week. Mohamed Salah, right? You cannot argue with his stats, and he's a phenomenal player. But how different do we play without him?
Yeah.
Not good. I'm not saying better. I'm not saying worse. But as a team, how can you play so different without one player?
It's a catch-22, really, isn't it? Because
I know.
Like, he's better than Drogba statistically. I think you could go as far as arguing now he is the best African to play in the Premier League. You can't argue with his numbers. Isn't his goals per game ratio the best ever in the Premier League? It's best than like Henry's and everything.
It could be. I couldn't guarantee that, but it could be right because his goals per game is just ridiculous.
Yeah, well, Mo Salah has a 0.97 contribution per game, the highest ever seen in Premier League history. The second highest is Henry at 0.96, so it's very close. But the fact that you think of Henry, and I hated him. He used to terrorise us. Hated it. Yeah. Hated it when we played Arsenal.
Premier League legend.
Yeah, or without doubt. But Mo Salah is unbelievable. But I feel as though when we play with Salah, because he is so good, it's sort of like when you think back to like when Coutinho was in the team, everyone looked for Coutinho to make it happen. And like when things aren't like the Fulham game, it was just all Salah, because you think he's going to make it happen.
Gerard, he didn't start, did he? Oh no, sorry. That was
in the Palace game, he didn't start. But then what I mean is, you think of Gerard, anything was going wrong, it was find Gerard. And I feel like in the Palace, with Palace, when he doesn't start, the team are a bit more free in a sense of they try things themselves without thinking like, because maybe they haven't got the like. You think of say Henderson, that shot from outside the box, the goal against Palace, he probably would have passed the Salah if he was in that position in any other game. But it's hard to judge because it's a mad one because Palace have been. We won them 7-0 without starting Salah. I mean, Salah come on and...
do you know what? I had him as my fantasy team captain and he didn't start the game and I was fuming. I was like, I can't believe it. And then he just come on it. He just come on and done bits. Like he got most of his points for my whole team. He got was it 2 goals and an assist, or 2 assists and a goal and bonus points and all that.
I'd seen a league team me the night before and took him out for Grealish, and then when he didn't start, I was like, yeah. All the leagues I'm in, I was going through the teams, and it was like Salah captain. And I was just like, yes, because I've been doing well. To be honest, I was near the bottom like a few weeks ago, and now I'm like near top in every league. So I was made up, and then he come on and gets 2 goals and an assist, which is. But that whole game, it's hard to with the Salah thing. I don't know, because when he came on, I feel like we looked even more dangerous.
Yeah. He just played a different way.
But Salah seems to have come on and be more looking to provide. He was in the midfield more. He was passing more. Mane was fuming to have come off.
Which you don't mind.
I love seeing that. I feel apparently Salah's in line for a new contract, and this translation thing is just all bollocks. I think of his mates saying that he's not happy and stuff. If Salah's fuming about not being captain, it was always going to be Trent against Mitchell, and he's a scout, being at the team since he was 7. He will be the captain one day.
If he stays.
No, I mean Trent will be the club captain.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. I'm assuming he's going to stay. I can't see any reason.
I can't see him leaving myself. But if Salah was fuming, there was still players above Salah in that who I would have give captaincy to before Salah, I think.
Yeah, Salah as a captain, he's way down in the pecking order.
I mean, I know he's Egypt captain, but he's only Egypt captain because he's the best player. Robertson I would go as far as saying could have captaincy before Salah in terms of. I like captains further back on the pitch because they can see the game in front of them. I'd give
it to Alisson before Salah.
Yeah, I mean people do want to see Salah have the captaincy, but for me, I don't like strikers as captains because they've got their back to the rest of the game. Where if you've got like a defender or a central midfielder, they see the whole game, so they should be the captain because they're the ones who are controlling. And you look at Jordan Henderson, by the way. Ruled that Palace game. He'll go under the radar because there was so many good performances. But Jordan Henderson was man of the match for me against Palace for the organisation of the team, for what he bossed the game. He literally bossed it. He had Palace on strings. Delighted to see him score a goal.
Great finish.
Everything. I can't think of a bad finish in that game. I don't know if you can. Like, I'm not saying a bad finish. I can't think of a finish that was.
What? They were all absolutely beautiful goals. Every single one of them.
Every single one right. Nominated for goal of the month.
Yeah.
My favourite though.
Bobby's,
yeah. I just love seeing him score, seeing him smile. He's best in the world. Best in the world probably for me now, but it's good to see him getting on the score sheet. He needed that. Like, obviously scored against Tottenham, got the winner, which you seen him run all the way up to the Kop, and he's like that and going like that. That's for yous, and it's good to see him getting them goals.
That goal, I was on my knees in the living room, sliding round. Obviously, because I have money on 2-1 and Salah first goal, so I was like, that was one part of it. But like the fact that we just won a last minute winner and it had won me a couple of £100, I was just like, get in.
Yeah. Like when he scored, because he didn't he have an assist first in that game? Was he? No, it was Robbo, weren't it?
Robbo, yeah. Salah.
I'm struggling to remember.
Oh, in the Palace game.
Palace game, yeah. I'm struggling to remember all the goals and assists because of.
It was Taki first goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, Taki was first goal.
And they got second goal.
Yeah, and then
Bobby
got third. Bobby got the fourth. Salah got the 5th, Hendo got the 6th, Salah got the 7th, I think. Naby Keita impressed me in that game, and he
usually does. Do you know what? He usually does.
Keep him fit. He's a fantastic addition to the team. It's just keeping him fit in it, really. And Andy Robertson, though, in that game, by the way, got an assist. Andy Robertson this season is our player of the year so far. No one can take that away.
He's took over Trent from last year, hasn't he?
He's been different gravy. Gary Neville touched on him on Monday Night Football yesterday. He said Trent is world class, but if he wants to improve, he should look more at Robertson, like defensively, and how he's always bombing forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. if Trent can take a little bit of Robbo's game into his own, he's already he is the best right back in the world. I feel like if Trent can just take a little bit out of Robbo, I agree with Neville, he'll probably be one of the, if not the best right back to ever play the game of football.
Yeah, I think about Robbo is, I mean, you've seen it on that Wingmen episodes that they've done. He's just a little firecracker. Like, that's just him. He's non-stop. And I don't think Trent's got that personality. Trent's more chilled and obviously he's energetic on the pitch.
More elegance, isn't he, Trent?
More, exactly, yeah. I think that thing that's in Robbo, it's either in you or it's not. You can't learn that.
Yeah. He's just being different gravy this season. Like, I feel like he's stepped up knowing that we're missing our back two. I can't fault him. And I think, I'm sure since he's signed, nobody's had more assists than him, not even De Bruyne.
That's quite a stat out of it's true.
I'm sure I've seen that somewhere. But yeah, Hendo, 104 long passes in that game. Made up to see him score. It's always good to see Hendo score. You see how much it means to him. Obviously, the sports personality of the year. I'm going to touch on that at the end of the podcast, so I'll leave that for now. But it was good to see Liverpool absolutely dominate.
Yeah, I'd say we did dominate against Tottenham, contrary to what Jose believed.
Yeah.
But we didn't get the just rewards for that dominance. Where
Palace orange again, doesn't it? Remember when we played in that orange?
Oh, yeah.
Dominated everyone.
Yeah.
It just felt like it was that again. And don't get me wrong, I went into that Palace game a little bit like, this will be tighter than people think. But then obviously Benteke got suspended. Yeah, and mad to say that he could have made the difference, but he really can't, because the way they fly down the wings, Palace, and whack the balls, and Benteke's in form. That even like Eze, we kept him quiet. He's so good, so good. Zaha, another world class player, kept him quiet. Their keeper has been unbelievable this season. Kept him quiet. We had Klein was there for them as well. Was it mad seeing Klein, in your eyes, play for another team? Like, obviously, he hasn't played the game really since Liverpool, has he?
No. To be honest, I kind of forgot he was even a Liverpool player. Like,
Trent just dislodged him, didn't he? Once Trent got the position, it was like, yeah,
that was it. Like, I felt a bit sorry for Klein because he didn't really do a lot wrong.
I think it was career, wasn't it? Didn't he do balloons? Wasn't he spotted on the balloons?
Was he? No, I don't care about that.
I'm sure.
I meant on the pitch. Like, he never sort of disrespected Liverpool. He never put in really shocking performances, but he never set the world on fire. So, whatever.
Yeah. Sports personality of the year then. What do you think of Hamilton winning it?
I have got zero interest in that. Like, who remembers who sports personality of the year is? Who won it last year? Can you tell me?
Probably Andy Murray. He wins it every year.
No, it wasn't Andy Murray. I was listening to the radio a few weeks ago and you were talking about how insignificant an award it is because
Tyson Fury has to be took off the nominations, and he did.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't care about it every year. I didn't even know Liverpool were up for Team of the Year. I didn't know Klopp. I just honestly don't care. But I watched it because I knew Hendo was up for Sports Personality of the Year. Now, Hamilton, you can't take away what he's done. He's the greatest F1 driver. He's British. I get it. But he doesn't pay his taxes. And he's a Tory.
That has got absolutely no bearing on the awards.
On his achievements, well, he has an offshore bank account, so he doesn't contribute nothing to the country. So how can he win an award where people can look up to him in this country when he doesn't even contribute to the country? We're also, like, you think about people paying hard-earned taxes, like, who aren't multi-millionaires, like me and you, day-to-day people who just work jobs. We pay more taxes than Lewis Hamilton, and I have no respect for him for that. He's a Tory, so I have no respect for him for that either. And in the F1, it's not really that hard to be that. F1 is a fleet of amazing engineering. However, the playing field isn't level. No, it's nowhere near level, and that's why Lewis Hamilton has been a massive advocate in F1 because they're trying to level the playing field, and he's so against it, as you can imagine. He was obviously in before F1 in the mini ones when the kids he was dominating in that. And the G-force that you get off it, you're going up 200 miles an hour around the track. It's to be an F1 driver, you got to be seriously talented. I get that. But if you put Lewis Hamilton in a Red Bull car, would he be as successful?
I've got no clue about F1.
The only thing I know is Mercedes are the best. They are the best with everything that they do. But that's the thing. Like if you put Hamilton, I mean George Russell when Hamilton had COVID didn't win, but he come close. And every other time, I don't really watch F1, but I've never heard the name George Russell before until Hamilton was at COVID, and he did nearly win it. So it goes to show that obviously Hamilton's a better driver than his Mercedes counterparts. But does he deserve sports personality of the year? The fella doesn't even have a personality.
To be honest, sports personality of the year is not something I have ever in my life given a toss about. Even like this year when it comes to Henderson being nominated, I'm like, who cares?
But do you think about what Hendo done for the food banks and that with the captains, and he has done more this year. You take away
Marcus Rashford's got a better shout in that case.
Yeah, Marcus Rashford deserves sports personality. Yeah, rightfully deserved it. He deserves to be. He's a United player, so I'm just about to can't be able to say it. Marcus Rashford deserves a nice hood.
He deserves all the accolades he can get. He's done wonders for families in poverty and whatever. Fair play to him.
I can't say a bad word about Marcus Rashford, and I'll always have a respect for him now for what he's done, regardless that he's a man, regardless that he plays for United. What a man. What an absolute man. And he probably should have been sports personality of the year. But I didn't even want, as much as I want Hendo to win everything, I wanted Tyson Fury to win there.
Just because he didn't even want to be nominated, that was
not so much that. So he was wrote off, and obviously I'm a massive mental health advocate myself, and what Tyson Fury's done for people with mental health and how much he's promoted mental health and put mental health in the mainstream news, and what he's come back from is like fighting back his own demons to become world champion again. Beat Deontay Wilder, who's arguably one of the biggest punchers in boxing, and he's going to go knock Anthony Joshua out next year. Mark me words.
Are you having that, are you?
He's the best boxer I've ever seen, Steve. He'll floor Anthony Joshua. Look, what I think about is Anthony Joshua fought an aging Klitschko, and Klitschko put him down. Tyson Fury boxed Klitschko and put his hands behind his back against arguably the most dangerous heavyweight boxer of all time. Yeah. And he went like that. Tyson Fury is an animal, and he will knock 10 shades of shit out of Anthony Joshua.
If he can catch him, he'll knock him out.
I think Tyson Fury is too fast for Anthony Joshua. He is. He's too fast for us. He's inhuman. You watch him and you see the size, and you're like, how are you that fast?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It'll be an interesting fight, that's for sure.
Klopp then, when we won Team of the Year, what do you think? Did you watch it?
No. I had absolutely no interest in it at all.
Said we won Team of the Year. It makes it even better that we've picked this award up here in Manchester. They're on the spot. I know he's won the Premier League and the Champions League, but there on that spot, I adopted Jurgen Klopp as a Scouser. Because it was just like, he's right. Get that dig in. He got Coach of the Year as well. He's won... Before we go on to the West Brom game, did Jurgen Klopp deserve the best Coach of the Year in the FIFA Awards? Klopp himself said he didn't. What's your view?
Why? He won everything. Why would he not?
Hansi Flick.
Oh, okay. One sec. You okay? What do you need? Nothing. Sorry, you're running around for. Oh, child issues.
Hansi Flick come in, I don't think he lost the game, did he? Won everything, all the cups that he Bayern Munich before he came in, by the way, was struggling. And then he came in, didn't get beat. He won all the German stuff. He won the Champions League. He does. I say all we won, we ended the 30-year wait, but all we won was the Premier League last year. Klopp got the FIFA Best Award for when we won the Club World Cup, won the Champions League and that, rightfully so. But Hansi Flick probably did deserve it this year. To us, he's the best manager of all time.
Yeah.
But Hansi Flick does, in my eyes, he did deserve it. And one thing I was pleased to see was Robert Lewandowski get the Best Player of award.
Yeah, because he missed out on the Ballon d'Or, didn't he?
Yeah, and Robert Lewandowski is the most underappreciated footballer, not by fans, by the higher-ups who give all the awards out. He is the most underappreciated footballer, and I feel like if he weren't playing in a generation with Messi and Ronaldo, he'd be cleaning up Ballon d'Ors every year.
For sure. Like, his numbers don't lie.
Unbelievable. I'd love him at Liverpool. I'd love him.
Yeah.
Love him at Liverpool. So yeah, before we go, we'll move on to the West Brom game and touch on that. Is this the perfect time to play West Brom? Before Big Sam gets his hand on the January transfer market and signs 11 groks to sit behind the ball?
It's always a tough one when you play a team who's just got a new manager because they're all out to impress. They all know he's going to come in and he's going to want to sign
6'5" units.
he's going to go and sign a load of Slovakian 6-foot groks to play at the back. So they're all going to be fighting for their positions. They're all going to be fighting for the places. He's going to play 10 at the back.
And he said it himself, though, when he was on Monday Night Football a few years ago. You just sit back, get a goal, and you win the game. That's how you stay up.
Yeah.
And that's what will happen, but I don't know. I feel like it's the best time to play them because he hasn't got his team yet. He hasn't got his big, massive meathead players. He hasn't got that. I feel like once he's had time, it's only his second game in for them, bearing in mind. I feel like once he's got time to get his stamp on it, I've got no worries about them going down. I think they'll stay up with him. He's proven to keep teams up. That's why Everton brought him in. Don't forget. Yeah. That's not even a dig. Everton were fighting relegation when they brought him in. They brought him in to stay up. He's a relegation survival expert, so to speak. But he's West Brom's his club, innit? West Brom and Wolves, like they're the one. He's from down there. I think it's just he is. He's Big Sam.
No, he's a Lancashire man.
Big Sam supports Wolves and West Brom. Honest to God, he said he used to fluctuate between going to 2 games when he was a kid. Honestly, in his first interview, he said he went between Wolves and West Brom.
He speaks like he's from Bolton, though.
I think he was at Bolton for so long, though, weren't he?
I'll take your word for it. Like, I don't know. Yeah,
his first interview, he was saying that, and I think his mate's dad played for West Brom or something. What a time to play them, and my only worry is we've had 8 days off. Everyone's saying it's good. It's not good. When Liverpool have that much time off, Liverpool.
We just started ticking, haven't we? Dominating teams, and this is the one time we probably could have done with a midweek game just to keep ticking over.
Yeah.
West Brom, I'm not worried about. I'm looking at the table now. They are 24 points behind us after 14 games.
Well, Villa beat them, but we can't say anything because Villa battered us. I still don't know. I was thinking about that yesterday. I was thinking how. I still can't understand how that happened. But I just feel like it's hard because you don't know how much time off the players going to get. Are they going to get much time? Are they going to get Christmas off? Because they've trained, or they're going to train right up till Christmas, to have Christmas Day off, and then train Boxing Day because they're playing the 27th. Are they all going to get pissed on Christmas Day? They do like a bevy. You've seen them party. Jürgen obviously is a massive family man. So Jürgen loves a bevy. I don't.
Did you know, right? I'm just going to put this here now, right? I didn't realise this because it felt like we've had a bit of a faltering start of the season. That Villa game is the only game we've lost this season in the Premier League. Yeah. Like, it feels like we've lost more.
That's what I mean. Liverpool, by everyone's saying, we're playing bad. We're still top of the league by 4 points and lost 1 game all season. Yeah. We are just witnessing greatness, Steve. And we've just got to take it in. every week we've got to take in watching this group of players, because success goes in roundabouts. When you think back to a few years ago, it was Arsenal dominating, then it was United dominating, then Chelsea dominated for a bit, then City's dominated, and
Nothing.
yeah, and it won't last forever. It won't. I mean, I hope it does, but it won't. Do you know what I mean?
No, we'll have our time, and then Jürgen will probably do one, and then we'll fall off a little bit. And
Don't say that. Stevie G needs to win the league with us, Steve.
Yeah, that'll come. But I think in between there'll be another team. Maybe United will have another go. I don't know. Maybe Tottenham. But I don't think we're going to have a period of dominance where it's going to be 10, 15 years. I think we'll have 5 years, then we might fall off for a couple of years and then possibly come back.
It'd be interesting to see, like, cause I've been watching a few Rangers games. I've just been watching footy because there's nothing else to do, is there? And Gerard has his team playing really, really well. James Taverner,
that free kick, did you see the free kick he scored?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He scored. He's one of the highest scorers in all European leagues this year, and he's
Isn't he a right back?
Yeah. It's just, though you can see. I feel the Gerard style of play probably wouldn't suit the players we've got now, but by the time Klopp will go when it's right. Mm-hmm. He won't he'll go when that team's like aging a bit. And if Gerard comes in. I personally wouldn't. I don't really. It's hard because I want him to come in and win the league, but then I don't really want him to come in and flop, and you remember him for that. And like, I know he's like one of the greatest footballers to ever played the game of football, but if he comes in and was poor as a manager, then you're thinking that's your most recent memory, innit?
You lose some of the legacy, don't you, when your latest memory of him is a failure.
And I'd like to see us stick to the German philosophy and get like Julian Nagelsmann in. Or someone like that, or even just go with Pep Linders or something. But I hope that's a conversation we aren't going to be having for 5-6 years. I hope Klopp is here and he's happy. And I feel as though the fact players are signing long-term contracts, as rumours Van Dijk, Fabinho and Salah are in line for a long-term deal next. Bobby's already got a lifetime deal. I feel like who else has got one of them lifetime contracts where it's like they've signed to like
is it Alisson?
I think it might be. And Mane will probably get tied up to a bigger contract soon.
I think as long as we're successful, as long as we're doing well and challenging, I think we've got no worry about Klopp going anytime soon.
Not going anywhere else. Like your Barcelona's and Real Madrid, they're in a massive rebuild, the two of them. Especially with the money, COVID has massively affected every league but the Prem. The only reason the Prem arguably can still go and spend money is because our TV deals are so good.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at like Barcelona, they rely massively on revenue. Anyone who goes to Barcelona on holiday goes to Nou Camp.
Yeah.
So they rely on that revenue, and the fact that they're struggling, Madrid are struggling. What's the point in going to them teams and when you're playing for the best team in the world? But I feel like the players are only signing long-term. They wouldn't sign a long-term contract if they knew Jürgen wasn't there a long time.
Exactly. Well, Jürgen's planning to stay for a long time.
I think he'll probably see his contract out now, 4 more years, maybe.
Yeah.
It'll be his longest ever. And what would he have been? I was then 10 years. He's been here 6 now, hasn't he?
This is his sixth season, yeah.
Flu, hasn't it? Proper flu.
That applies when you're having fun.
I honestly wouldn't change. Even the finals we've lost wouldn't change anything for the world. He's give us a cup final every year since he's come in. He's give us what we want. Whether you win or lose them cup finals, obviously you want to win them. But he's give us them days out. Like, and that's what I'll always thank him for. Like the days to Wembley, the days to Madrid and stuff, and he's give us that as fans. And I just hope he never goes. I hope he's like Fergie and he's like 90 or something, still He's an honorary Scouser. But yeah, we'll speak after the West Brom game, after Christmas.
I can see this West Brom game, right? I know we're all a little bit worried about Allardyce sticking 10 men behind the ball, which I'm pretty sure he will. But I still think we're going to beat them about 5-0.
We'll go with. I'm not going to try and do teams because obviously so much.
No.
Because maybe like you could even get COVID with the new strain being out and that. We'll go for pick a score and scorers. I'll let you go first.
Mane first goal, 5-0.
I'm gonna go Liverpool 8-0.
You just don't like me having the high. You just don't like me having the highest score, do you?
No,
8-0. I'll take that.
Only because I can see us getting an early goal,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're gonna have to come at us, and they are not good enough to come at Liverpool. If they leave any sign of gap in the one thing West Brom have got in the favour is the keeper's decent. They got a decent keeper.
Have they still got Johnny Evans at the back though? Oh no, he gone to Leicester, didn't he?
Yeah, he's got Leicester now.
I'm going back years there.
I don't think they've not really got anyone. To be honest, they've got that in Danyanga from West Ham, who Mark Noble publicly flipped at the board, West Ham board, but when he sold them, but they haven't really got anyone. To be honest, they maybe might have Sturridge back in January, because he wants to come back to the Prem. But
either way, we're going for a resounding victory, aren't we?
yeah, because I feel like early, like the Palace game, early goal, they're going to have to come out to try and get something out of the game, and then we'll just pick them off. And if we picked Palace off, and I think Palace are levels ahead of West Brom, ahead.
Absolutely, they've got so many better players there at Palace.
And another reason why I think it'll be 8-0 is at Anfield.
Yeah.
And
got a few thousand fans in there, bit of noise.
Just after Christmas, all the Scousers in good spirits, all in the new neon 110s, which I didn't get.
You still never got them?
No. It's a sad time for me. But yeah, I just feel like we're going to win. You don't get beaten at Anfield.
Listen, Matty, by the way, we've got listeners all over the world here. If anyone can get hold of a pair of these neon 110s from Matty, just hit us up somehow.
You named the podcast after you. Honestly. But yeah, that's something I do want to touch on before we go. Spotify do the yearly wrapped thing, and obviously there's fantastic podcasts out there for Liverpool fans. There's so many podcasts making good content, whether they're massive podcasts like the Anfield Wrap, and then there's like the Red Men, they're like a massive on YouTube doing podcasts, massive channels, or whether it's smaller ones like Anfield Index and stuff. They're massive as well, or whether it's really, really small ones like us. Liverpool fans just get behind anything. That's something I've learned from doing the podcast. You just get behind things, and we done our Spotify Wrapped, and it was literally just for the platform of Spotify. We're getting listened to in 4 countries, which may not seem like nothing, but well, I think when we started this journey, like a few months back, I know it's been a year. I'm only saying months because we've had COVID in between. So collectively, we've only I think we've done like 32 episodes. To reach 4 countries I didn't think it'd happen, and that's just Spotify. And then I look deeper into it. We're getting like every single episode we do is actually getting more downloads in America than it is here, which is mad. We're getting downloads in like Vietnam, Hong Kong, China, South Korea. We had a few the other day. We've had some in Japan, Australia. Like I think I've counted to be like 8 or 9 countries across all platforms, and nice one basically. I don't think we ever I think we expected it to do decent within time, but I don't think we expected it to be hitting different countries like after like a few months, did we?
No, 2 lads in a little studio bedroom, you know.
It's crazy, like, and I just thank every single person, whether you listen to the podcast for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, the full podcast, like, it means the world to know that people listen to it. And yeah, just make sure you keep smashing the like button, smashing the comment buttons on YouTube, subscribing to it on Spotify and stuff, and
tell you, mate.
Yeah, hopefully by the end of 2021, we're in 30 countries.
Yeah.
But yeah, as always, Steve, nice one. Have a marvellous Christmas.
Yeah, we'll speak to you with smiles again just after the West Brom game, yeah?
Yeah, I can't wait. Working now right up until the West Brom game in Christmas Day. Can't wait to let my hair down, and hopefully we're both right, 7 or 8-0. Hopefully we're 5-0, 6-0. Hopefully, it's just dominance. That's what we want. A nice Christmas domination to put us, cement our place. Because obviously everyone's playing on Boxing Day, so people will be close to us in terms of points if they win. So hopefully it gets us right back up there again.
Okay, take it easy. Have a good Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, nice one for listening.